Shalom. First off, I want to start off by saying all praises, honor, and glory is due unto Yahweh. Shim Yahushai, Shim Prophet Ashes, all praises to the world calls God, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh, Shim in the name, and Yahushai being the name of the only begotten Son. Also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful lake preaching his word in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Tazabad in Great Millstone, Arizona Camp Little Will with another video to edify. And as you can see, these three articles on the screen, it says, meditation app Calm lays off 20% of workforce. Peloton slashing 780 jobs, closing stores and hiking prices and push to turn profit. Best Buy cuts store jobs to help boost profits. Right? So that the time of great layoffs is here. Right, when you've had 2 consecutive quarters of GDP shrinkage, it's called a recession. And though Esau, right, so-called white man and these people on Fox News and all these news sites sit here and try to put these people on, trying to stoke some type of how do you say it, confidence in the financial situation in America and throughout the globe. That's not the case. It's not the truth, right? They have people on their side that look at the books, that look at these interest rates, that look at what they owe in loans, how big their workforce are, and they're saying, holy shit, we got too much, right? And that's what's happening. They're looking at it, the interest rate hike, the loans. They're no longer getting this cheap debt that they can buy to sell, and give to the people for their wages. It's not working like that anymore. It's not. So America is dwindling, man. The money's failing, and people feel it. Right? It says Best Buy Co. is cutting store jobs across the country as the electronic and appliance retailer works to lower costs as its customers change their spending habits. The retailer cut hundreds of jobs in stores over the past week, including some workers who had jobs such as helping people purchase or plan home entertainment layouts, according to people familiar with the situation. It says, look, stock down 12%, or 0.12%, right? It says, with an ever-changing macroeconomic environment, including customers shopping more digitally than ever, we have made adjustments to our teams that include eliminating a small number of roles, said the company spokeswoman. Best Buy has jobs openings in other roles and is continuing to invest in areas of the business such as in home services, healthcare, and stores, she said. Right? So they're cutting jobs across the board. Let's go to another one. Right? It says Peloton slashing 780 jobs, closing stores, and hiking prices and push to turn profit. Right? It says Peloton told employees it's slashing roughly 780 jobs, closing a significant number of its stores, and hiking prices on some equipment. The company didn't specify how many of its 86 retail locations it plans to shutter. It said it will exit last mile logistics, closes remaining warehouses, and shift delivery work to third-party providers. Says Peloton told employees Friday that it is slashing 780 jobs and closing a significant number of its retail stores. Now, how many people do you really need to work in a Peloton store? Not many. So when you're talking about 780 jobs in a field like that, that's a huge number, right? It's a huge number. All right, let's go to the next one. It says meditation app Calm says meditation app Calm lays off 20% of workforce. It says meditation and mental health wellness app Calm laid off 20% of its roughly 400 person workforce. 20% of 400 is 80 people. Yeah, 80 people. Right? It says according to the Thursday memo to staff for the CEO, David Coe, says over the past few years, Calm's mission to make people happier and healthier has never been more relevant and more tested. We have helped millions of users worldwide navigate profound uncertainty, but we as a company are not immune to the impacts of the current economic environment, Coe said. In building out our strategic and financial plan, we revisited the investment thesis behind every project, and it became clear that we need to make changes, including some difficult decisions, in order to ensure that in the next 10 years, 10 years of Calm are as successful as the first 10. Right? They're looking at the books and saying, man, our numbers aren't looking good. Our numbers aren't looking good. What is the debt we have? What is the projection of people paying for this? People's pockets are getting slimmer. How many people are really going to be able to afford our services? This is what's happening all across the board. Right? This is Isaiah 19:14. It says, Yahweh have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggered in his own vomit. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which head or tail, branch or rush may do. You see? So the Lord's taking away the work. It goes in with what? The grinding. Let's get that. Come on now. I'm going to start off with this one. This is Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. I'll just get to the points. It says, "In the day when the keepers of the house are trembled," and the keepers of the house are basically the keeping of the house goes into finance. So the keepers of the house are what? These major corporations, these billionaires, these millionaires, these Fortune 500 companies, right? So it says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and they're trembling, right? They're looking at the past two quarters of what? Shrinkage. They know what a recession means. So what? They try to hedge their bets early in hopes that they can weather a recession, and they're trembling. It says, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinding cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Right? So the grinding is starting to cease. You're going to see a far higher amount of store closures. Right? Remember, the plan for Esau is what? You'll own nothing, and you'll love it, and you'll be happy. Right? That's the plan. When you look at the WEF, the World Economic Forum, right? The Great Reset, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Why would you need a bunch of these corporations out here if you can easily set up the ownership for everything under a few companies? You limit the supply, you limit the choices, right? That's the plan. You don't need all these companies if you're going to limit choices and everybody has to rent for you. They get what you give, right? It says, and the door shall be shut in the street when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Right? Meaning there's going to be no option out here. No options. So you pulling everything into your life, into this kingdom, ain't gonna do anything for you. You need to pull everything in your life towards Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Because at the end of the day, you better work for him. Right? Because at the end of the day, the only people that are gonna eat are the ones that's built up that spiritual treasure house. Right? The only ones that are gonna drink are the ones that built up that spiritual treasure house. The only ones that are gonna be able to live in any type of real capacity, right, are the ones that did what the Lord said, because the Lord said, "What my servant shall eat." But more and more things closing is part of prophecy, man. It's part of prophecy. Great layoffs are coming. A large amount of layoffs are coming. Right? People are getting evicted at an all-time high now. Here in Arizona, one of the hottest places to fucking get evicted. Right? There's just west of downtown Phoenix, there's a place called Cass, which is a homeless shelter. Huge place, huge little compound, right? But it's not enough room to actually house the amount of people that trying to get in there to get services. So what? These people set up in the street, and there's a bunch of houses over there, and now the people that own the houses where those homeless people set up, they're suing the city because they're not doing anything about this. But recently they've been sitting every trip that this fucking governor of Arizona has been sending all these Issacharites, right, that are considered, right, because they're really this is supposed to be their land, but they're considered illegal immigrants, right? They're sending them, it costs $80K to send them up to New York. Every bus, $80K is what it costs. And they're sitting there, they've already spent $3 million so far just sending niggas up to New York on a bus because you don't want to deal with them. Or sending them to DC, one of the two. So, $3 million on that. How hard is it to sit here and use $3 million and get them niggas housed and get them off the street? Right? This is when shit starts to elevate. Right? Alright, so peep this. This is Follow the Roman Empire. Right? It's on a website called yesterday.uktv.co.uk. And you go down, it says urban decay. It says most Romans were not rich, rather they lived in small, smelly rooms and apartment houses with 6 or more stories called islands. Don't that sound like America? I remember at one point in Arizona when I was a kid, there were no 3-story buildings, man. It was all just 2-story. That was the highest it would go. And then over time, it started hitting 3 stories. And you started seeing 4-story buildings, 5-story and 6-story buildings. This is Rome all over. It says with each island covering an entire city block. At one point in its history, there were 44,000 apartment houses within the city walls of Rome. These apartments were hot, dirty, crowded, and dangerous. For the countless poor, this was their only option. They rented their homes. From the wealthy few, but anyone who could not pay the rent was forced to move out and live on the crime-infested streets. Doesn't it sound like America right now? Evictions are skyrocketing. People don't make enough. Okay? The price of goods is going up. This sounds exactly like America, man. It's beautiful. It says many could not afford even to live in these squalid conditions. And over time, the rise of the homeless combined with an appalling living condition caused the city throughout the Roman Empire to decay. Unemployment. It says it's important to remember that the trade which bound the empire together was by and large agriculture. Over the years, however, farming became a dog eat dog industry, just like now. During the final years of the empire, farming was done on a large estate called uh, Lat- Lati- Latifundia. Is as those owned by the wealthier landowners survived as they were run using slave labor. As a result, any farmer who was actually paying their staff could not compete. The highly competitive market not only undermined the average citizen farmer who relied on passing the values to his family, but also filled the cities with unemployed people. At one time, the emperor was importing grain to feed more than 100,000 people in Rome alone. These people became a burden to the empire as well as contributing to an over increasing crime rate. This doesn't sound like America. This place is through. This place is through. America is following the same pattern. And now what? Jobs are being lost. We're in a recession. Money is failing. Let me get that. The money is failing. Right? It says Genesis 47 is in 15. It says, and when the money failed in Egypt and the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. And this is what people are doing in America now. They're coming to the senators. They're coming to them acting like they can help them. And what? They pass these laws that are actually inching up into the mark of the beast. Right? It's not even inching up. These are full blown feet that they're taking, man. This whole new how do you say it? An anti or what was it? It was called the Inflation Reduction Act. This stuff is why they try to say and spell like this is going to give you more purchasing power to buy the things that actually cause you to be able to save more money. This stuff actually hinders you. It's not. They're not sitting there coming after the rich. They kept provisions in there to allow the rich to pay a lower tax rate. Right at a certain point, you're supposed to pay 37% of your income in taxes. These motherfuckers is paying 20% and below, and they ensured that they would pay 20% and below for that whole bill. So it's really nothing to sit here and actually come at the rich. This is all moves and counter moves, like on the movie. What is it? Hunger Games. Like the game manager said, he said moves and counter moves. Right? But they're really controlling the whole thing. America's through, man. You about to see all hell break loose. This is a quick one. Lord willing, it's edifying. Shalom.